So I do the way the transfer window keeps on going. Almost every team in England is strengthening. In fact, not just even in England. I mean, across of Europe, we are strengthening the team. We are making sure that better top quality players are they'll be able to compete. And very interesting, very interesting. I mean, of course, in the last few hours, in the last few days, 2 or 3 days, you realize that Chelsea have done an excellent deal for Abrante and Pedro Neto. Everybody has been straight up in what Neto brings to Chelsea. I think that, like we've always said, we said consistently, said the bigger issue with Neto, the injury record that he holds, and the fact that he has played averagely 20 games every season. I mean, he will miss some of them for you. If you look at the midfield, the winger depth at Chelsea, maybe that isn't going to be entirely a problem, sir. And maybe Chelsea will manage his load. If Chelsea is able to manage his load well, then definitely it's going to help. I mean, again, no. There was a news say Abrante, a friend of Reece James, and before I even go on with the other conversation of other clubs and the transfers and everything, said Reece James is injured again. I mean, it shows what Chelsea now. You get worried, but anyhow, that's normal. It is normal for Reece James to come down injured. And again, sometimes when colleague journalists are reported, maybe no you see where they say injured, you pardon them unless you have what we call in Ghana science background before you can understand why it's not like that. Reece James started a training, I think someone on the 10th of May, Barca started a training. It's been a couple of months now. After that surgery, if you can be an injury, that's a hamstring. It's either a hamstring pull, a hamstring tear, or a total pull, like a tear film. Then the person goes to do surgery. And you can't have all of these two injuries. Now you can say, okay, you'll be back in 3 weeks. Because obviously, not Chelsea regimes 2 games that he's not going to play and he was going to sit out. When he sat out, he was going to come maybe at the end of August and answer Bibisa. And next time we expected he was going to back somewhere in September. Now, Nyambesa Mekani said, Reece James was expected to have a recurrence. I mean, not necessarily of the same injury. And Chelsea were planning injury for just say something bad and answer Bibisa. No. And let me read this to you. For high level and recreational athletes, any orthopedic surgeons and the orthopedic surgeons and physical therapists, they be creating what they call the return to sports protocol because now started training now you need to do what the return to sport protocol. I mean, they take it from the low normal reason. Now after your body will become used to it. That takes about 3 to 6 months and prepares you to get back to training in competition after a hamstring injury. You may have some irritation after returning to normal training and activities. This as a result of a scar tissue breakup and around the surgery site as your tendons get used to the more activity. If you experience a lot of pain or sudden severe pain when you return to sport, talk to your provider right away. So essentially, these things are normal. Say, okay, you'll be some little pain when James comes in, where he's going to get some irritations around that area because the tendon is now beginning to get used to the quality and the load of work at Onya or name. And yet something a year too bad. It just okay, James assigned Bobby Pratt 4 or 5 times or in the season. No, you don't have to worry too much about it. When hamstring injuries be here, it's normal, completely normal. Say, Obinya some of these issues that will come. Once it comes in or returning, he should be perfectly fine. And once Chelsea plan to manage his load, and Chelsea have a very reliable rights back in Malo Gusto, it means that they can manage the load of Abrante with James in there with him and Abrante friend Malo Gusto. And when it's us several times, that make a change for say, if you ask me where Reece James should play this season, yes. Maybe the best position for Reece James any year to play at RCB, any year to come inverted, any year it is for him to go up and down the touchline or the crosser to box the near. But I've said it several times to be able to manage Reece James' load, not to put too much stress on Nenano. There is a need for him to prevent him from going long distances in terms of sprinting or go short distances. So anybody you put too much load on him. And I think that's the best way to manage Reece James as it stands now. In baby or one. So don't be too worried about Reece James. If you Manfred or you choose on subscribe, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, make sure the notification turning. You do choose all. We'll give you the best here of sports analysis here. Enjoy the analysis, share the link, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, make sure that you share the link in every group that you are in. So I was talking about the fact that almost every club I wear has strengthened, in specific areas. The story of Arsenal Football Club for Ricardo Calafiori about the team in their team. They are looking at adding Mikel Merino team again. Somebody that gives them a lot of balance, a lot of solidity. Somebody that gives them the physical ability. Merino beats him up as an 8, as a 6. Chelsea Alcofa Brentford and Pedro Neto. The last few hours I've shown team because there's a need for that creativity. Chelsea have said that in terms of the creative ability of midfielders from the wide areas in the English Premier League, it is very, very true. Sabrantia, your friend Pedro Neto is one of the best in there. The dribble successes per game. The chance creation per 90 minutes. The quality on the ball. And I think the one thing I love about Mikel Merino is his ability to run at you with a ball, the directness with you on the ball and off the ball. Again, idea about Nipa Bebe about me, Pedro Neto is the fact that his off the ball job or very, very important to every team. Now, one thing is very important in teams like this where you need a standard raiser. So Asha, in preseason and even in last season, a lot of the things that Chelsea fans have said, and they say Chelsea wingers and you're reliable off the ball. So when Chelsea lose the ball, when it says somebody drop it back, a lead press, now you're aggressive with the press, you really born it back now. Usually it's somebody like Nicolas Jackson, what's our standard level, or you're very good with that. So now with Pedro Neto, aside all of the creative ability, the fact that with my goals, with my assists, the quality he has off the ball, and he's signing money in our that's what we say it in P. A very, very he doesn't give up, pushes up, or he raises the standards in terms of press. Pushes for the ball, make sure he presses you. He is always in your face, so we push you, we really ball on the back, and that's what a branch of Pedro Neto and the Brett Chelsea, even without the point. Chelsea are doing that business. Of course, there was a need to solve the height disadvantage, and that what Chelsea achieved last season by adding a branch of tossing and the Chelsea would want to do same. Usually, say, in a team like that, that's what people compete, especially in set pieces. After Chelsea brought in Ricardo Cueva into a team now, there was a need to also add height to it. They brought in a branch of tossing and the yes. In preseason, Chelsea fans are too convinced about what he gives to the team. But then again, the height alone is important at the back. And when he slots in at the back, Chelsea have some height advantage. It's the same job in a Manchester United. They let any Mazraoui, because if you look at Manchester United centre back area, there was Leandro Martinez and then maybe Lindelof. All of them are not tall like that. They are not the average monsters. Now they've brought in Lenny Yoro, they've added lit to it, and these two can play at the back for you. We can play Leandro Martinez, so there is a lot of quality, a lot of depth at centre back, because now there is Maguire, there is the Leeds, there is Yoro, there is Leandro Martinez, there is Victor Lindelof. About 5 of them were Chilwell, and averagely solving the issue of height with any technical ability. See, for Mazraoui, a fullback, he has the technical ability to help him build up in the absence of Luke Shaw. So you show any Onoma, you can now fall on him to build up from the right hand side. Unlike say the United build up on Echo through the left hand side and this time there is quality to do that on the right hand side. If there is Nasser Mazraoui in the team for team and friend Manchester United, and that's the most important thing about team building United. They are also adding a branch of Joshua Zexi, somebody who's a center forward who can link up playing between the lines to help break down low blocks. It's very important for Abantia for Manchester United. Now the big question is on Erik ten Hag and how he beats me PC all of these very good germs together. No one was solving that structure last season. I kept on talking about it. It wasn't good enough for Erik ten Hag and what he wanted to do. He has to solve those things. If he's able to solve that, then definitely United are up, because they have a lot of quality with team. And that's what Chelsea have done with Neto coming in. Omunya Neto was our wing honor. Of course, the arrival of Nkunku and Lavia are more like new players again, because Chelsea now have depth up front. The specific inclusion of Kenan Drisby Hall is very important, because Chelsea now have somebody as an attacking and also have a lot of energy to press. And there is depth in that area. There's Kenan Drisby Hall, there's Caicedo, there's Enzo Fernandez, there's Romeo Lavia in there in that same middle. There's of course another player called Kani Chukwuemeka. About 5 of them for 3 places every day on the match day. Then that tells you the quality that Chelsea have. On the right and on the left, there is Sterling, Modric, Madueke, any Abantia, friend Pedro Neto. I don't believe say Eseko Palmer Abo as a touchline winger. He doesn't have the trait to play as a touchline winger. Cole should play as part of the attacking 8 if you want him to be there. Whilst will be given some some fluidity and some freedom, say, or like more like what Kevin De Bruyne does for Chelsea, does for Manchester City. I mean, he starts on the middle, but he's always consistently interchanging with the wingers, for the wingers to come inside, because he goes to the wing, goes in with a cross and then creates a chance from there. Say for Kenan Behold can do stuff like that. And Chelsea have the depth now. Nyaka, what to do with our brighter friend Victor Osimhen? Is he going to come in? And Chelsea were big game that they are playing against Tima, your friend Internazionale Milan. Obviously, we are going to build up for you. I can several times say, if you want a team, one of the team that is tactically very astute, that know exactly what to do, some of the managers that understand what they want to do, some of the managers that play very, very well. Then you want it in Papa, your friend of Simeone Inzaghi. He's quality on the ball, quality without the ball. And in the Serie A, there is a lot of quality in terms of coaches. In the last few, after saying Vincenzo Italiano didn't win the Conference League with Fiorentina, he has now moved to Bologna now. There has been also Thiago Motta, who last season was one of the best, has moved to Team of Juventus. Sex Fabregas last season, Como or the Italian lower division. People saw how good they are now. He has gotten his badges. He's going to be on the bench for Como team. These are the little things that's going on. Italian Serie A, and there's a lot of quality still. Maurizio Sarri still with Lazio team. Antonio Conte, I don't really believe he's a top elite manager nowadays, but then again, he has gone back to Napoli. He is a pragmatic manager. He wants to play in a certain way. So in the Italian Serie A, there's always quality in how they want to play and the things that they want to do. And then Chelsea will unveil a brand here, Pedro Neto at Stamford Bridge, and it's at 3 p.m. UK time. I think that's around at 2 p.m. Ghana time. So obviously, social match and you turn on your alarm. Make sure you go and watch that game, because obviously after that match, it will bring you a post-match analysis. Where is Chelsea 1 week to the English Premier League season, and then we do a post-match analysis of the of other games that were also, and then a whole conversation about all the teams, any ball, my ball, what they've done. Where do you expect Chelsea to finish next season? How confident are you going into the season? Sign money now. We'll have all of that conversation. Again, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, and make sure that you do turn it on. Now, let me catch you say Chelsea here another height at centre forward, because midfield there is no height. Chelsea's midfield lacks that. I don't want to say physicality, because Lavia and then Caicedo are very, very physical. These are two midfielders that can be very, very physical. Physicality, they are there. I think it's the aerial dominance that you get in somebody like Amadou Onana. But again, you look at the most recent DMs who are not naturally not the most fit, tall players, someone like Declan Rice, but able to impose himself in a game because they play in a rigid structure. They have specific jobs. They start from deep, go to the edge of the box, slot in, sometimes score goals and sign money. These are important things that they do. But if they able to work on this thing, maybe the height will not be an issue. But Chelsea would need a height and physicality actor. That is why there is a lot of murmuring going around. Say Abrante Feni, either Samuel Maradion or Magui. Maybe both of them will even go on loan. They are going to be players that Chelsea have had on loan. Then Chelsea will bring in another attacker in there, and that can be Abrante Feni, Victor Osimhen. Then remember, catch up. Chelsea haven't left the table for Victor Osimhen. Chelsea haven't left the table for Victor Osimhen. Now, it is a chess ball game in a course between Chelsea and the SSC Napoli. Now, Napoli sporting director, Mana, came out. He spoke about Romelu Lukaku. He spoke about Victor Osimhen. One, I said, man, I care about Victor Osimhen. I said, Osimhen has stolen the Opposite Club. Wakachom. And they are preparing to let him go. Yesterday, Napoli played against Modena. And it's a game that was very, very difficult for Napoli. Antonio Conte wasn't happy with what happened after the game. The results that the results by the performance, or seeing the players have to do well. Now, Napoli, any Abrante friend Romelu Lukaku have agreed a 3-year deal for him to reduce his wages. It's already done. Now, the problem is with Chelsea. Now, what you have to know is that Chelsea will not allow Romelu Lukaku on their wage bill again this season. And one of the key things, the key markers to see where they are as a team financially, whether they're going to be independent or dependent on the owners, and they say they need to be able to let go of Abrante friend Romelu Lukaku off their wage bill. And in doing that, one of the things that they want to do is that they know that Lukaku has already agreed with Napoli. Chelsea have told them that it's 38 million, no conversation. I'm going to somebody 25. Now say I'm going to turn Romelu Lukaku out. No, they bought a boy for very expensive. They've amortized over the last few years. Omenya some amount of money, Omenya 38 million version books, man. They believe that it's going to be profit for them, and that's the least that they want to go. Napoli for winning. But it's also a ball game, chess game, of course, for Horror. Napoli for no will wait and see how long Chelsea will wait to pull the trigger. It is same for Chelsea also having going in for Victor Osimhen. They are there. Yes, and now in the last few hours, Dimasio is reporting and say a lot of other clubs are also beginning to ask about Victor Osimhen and they would want to know what's going on in there. Roberto Calando, any agent, has come out and said the boy is not just a package in there. They would want to make sure it's a boy in every team. He's going to a team where it's going to be permanent. He wants his future to be permanent. Victor Osimhen has been clear. Chelsea don't have personal terms agreed with Victor Osimhen yet. In fact, the contact with him was just preliminary. Now, one of the things that is clear from Victor Osimhen company say he wants so free Napoli team anymore. He wants to leave that place permanently, not just on loan, with an option to buy. As Obana Sanfa, Obeka and say, Uncle back because you are not ready to buy him. You will not trigger that option. No, they don't want that. They want to make sure so once he's leaving Napoli, he's leaving for good. Now, Napoli know that Chelsea wants Victor Osimhen. Chelsea will love Victor Osimhen. They appreciate him. And they notice that Chelsea technically, stylistically, went to get in someone Maradona and said, okay, see, we have somebody that okay, because okay, fine. The name is team, you better have a name. And that's why I keep on telling Chelsea fans a lot of the time. Say sometimes some of the purchases that the club does, it's not because for them to come and play in the first team CA, but it's like hedging. It's like it's a form of building things. When sometimes you want to hedge, sometimes you want to buy for the future. It's like buying to invest sometimes to that extent, where sometimes you can sell. And then Humphreys, Bergstone, all of these boys in the Chelsea academy are now waiting to go on loan and Chelsea get some money for it. Kanu Chukwuemeka, you say Barcelona for, but they want to buy him. I think that Kanu is quality, is Chelsea quality. Chelsea do not have to sell him. He can go on loan, but they don't have to sell him. They need to be patient with him because Kanu is a very, very good player that can succeed at Chelsea team. You know, he has specific skill sets in breaking down low blocks. He is going to be very important, and Chelsea don't have to let him go. It is going to go. The Osimhen deal is going to go down to the wire. Almost everybody wants to wait. Maybe the last minute part of the window. There's 20 more days to go. It will window them. Chelsea would wait to see. I mean, now it's 19 days to go. Chelsea would wait to see how they can do a deal for Victor Osimhen in the last hours. And it's the same for team and friend in Napoli when they want to get Victor Romelu Lukaku. Antonio Conte knows, say his boy Romelu Lukaku is going to come, and he's waiting for him to come in. He has threatened them, say Lukaku on bar. He is going to leave the job. He is going to resign. I would see my friend SSC Napoli El Honiti. We are all waiting. Say Romelu Lukaku ever join the team, your friend of Napoli, and then of course Chelsea will have their man in Victor Osimhen. In Enra, Jose Mourinho played his first game in the Turkish Super League. Of course. You know Jose Mourinho. There's already a fun compilation of what he was doing on the touchline in there. Ivan Toney, one of the main considered Saudi Pro League for Asia Brentford friend Ivan Toney to try and move him to Al Aliyad. Ivan Toney, Asia said maybe he may move on from there and then go and get the job done. Of course, I don't want Bissaka. Any Manchester United have done some good sales in there. One Bissaka, if we Manchester United to go to West Ham United. If you look at the quality, what he brings to Western United is more about the ball interception, the blocking, and in the defense over there. I mean, he's not the best on the ball in build-up. He's not the best in terms of attacking from fullback areas now. And that's not necessarily a weakness, but he's not the best in that regard. And what you see what goes on in there in terms of Abrantia, your friend Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Of course, Liverpool are still trying to get Martin Zubimendi Ibanez to come and be the anchor in the middle of the park for them to control the game, dictate the paces of the game. Wait to see if that's going to happen. Of course, Real Sociedad would want to keep him, but they would want to give Stefan Bajcetic to go to Real Sociedad on loan whilst they get Martin Zubimendi. Bajcetic is one of the best that you can have in the 2022 no longer period. They're literally the third best right back in the league, about to step up for him. Chelsea, about Atlanta, of course, the resumes conversation is going on in there. I think it's just a niggle that's just niggled him in there. Today at the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea elbow against Internazionale Milan. A big game. I'm very certain that Enzo Maresca is going to play at least 8 or 7 out of the players of the ball against Manchester City. He will play them today. He'll start them today so that you see. I don't think that they will do too much. They would want to better the high line conversation. They would want to look at the defense. They would want to exert too much pressure, but just the principles, the simple things that they would want to do our game in him. And Rahman Osman, I say, if you are heading to Stamford Bridge today and don't know what to expect, maybe you have to have a look at this. The new system doesn't do fullbacks. The idea is to have at least 7 midfielders, and it's the same regimes can't be involved in Yami Adama and Nebal. And of course, he wasn't going to be involved against Manchester City, so I don't have a problem. I think that's good for him to be there. Chelsea definitely, I say they are not, they've not put a branch of any Noni Madueke on sale. They don't not put Noni Madueke on sale in there. But definitely, if the good offer comes for him, they are going to sell him. Madueke has some slight issues in the system, but also very direct, very, very good player. So I'm going to turn on Madueke, and I think that for me, it confirms that say Chelsea being a right back will be overlapping. In this case, it's going to be a branch of Malo Gusto. Madueke doesn't suit the house piece, and I assume the left winger will be one to actually do the harder work defensively. So Madueke, Palmer and Sterling defensive work doesn't become as much as a problem, and I think that maybe can happen where Chelsea sells Noni Madueke. Then on the right hand side, it means that every day the right back is going to overlap. We're going to have Malo Gusto doing the overlapping in there. Then it means that Cole Palmer will come inside into the house space. Malo Gusto keeps the weight for them. Now on the left hand side, the full back at the left hand side now. Maybe Pedro Neto or something will now draw back, do a lot of the defensive work without the ball, and then Chelsea's midfield are going to be there. But we wait to see the last few times left for the window to close. And there are a lot of things that can happen, including what is going to happen at Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United. Who is going to win the league? Arsenal. If you go to Spain, there's obviously Atletico de Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona. What do you think of Barcelona team? I think that Barca have a very good team, very good manager. Now they can compete, but then don't look away from Atletico Madrid. I've told you the quality in Atletico Madrid for Tino, Conor Gallagher, and then the depth that they have in that midfield, Solo, Arthur, and then the fullbacks that they've added to their team. Now they've brought Ruben Lenormand to their back to come and help in build up, and now they can push Abrantia, your friend Witzel, back into the middle of the park to be at the base of the diamond. And then Conor Gallagher is going to be at the tip of it. And on both sides, there's Dorian Timonia in that team, and it means that Atletico de Madrid want to build a very solid team to go toe to toe with Madrid. Of course, we know the quality of Madrid. Mbappe back into Sartino, playing some good stuff, dictating the pace of the game. Quality player. You can't take anything away from them. And the Spanish La Liga also will brighten up again. In France, there's obviously Paris Saint-Germain, but Marseille are doing some good job. Chelsea's feeder club Strasbourg also have some good players. Then you go to the Italian Serie A, which I've told you that's going to be serious job. How is it going to happen? Aston Villa are going to play in Europe as compared to playing also in their games on the summer ball.